Sharks were playing their game against the Rangers, I did go back and check it out because it was worth checking out because the Rangers got their butts handed to them. All in the first period was where the scoring happened. Sharks ended up winning that game 3-1. Celebrini got 2 goals. Regenda chipped in a third goal, and that all came in the first period. Like I said, Toffoli, Smith had 2 assists. Misa had an assist. Colin Graff had 2 assists as well. Nedeljkovic saved all but 1. We're still missing that first shutout of the season. That's what I'm looking for now at this point. I want to see, can we get a shutout? That's something that I just want to see it. I want to see, is it possible? Can the saloon door defense put a shutout on the board before the end of the year? I want to see one. Just give me one before the end of the year. Give me one shutout.
Mac almost had a hat trick before there was even a commercial break in the game.
I know, man. Impressive. It was kind of wild. So Celebrini had the first and the third goals of the game, but like those goals came early, man. They were all the Sharks were up. I believe they were up. As I'm looking back at it, they were up 3-0. About 7.5 minutes into the game. It was really quick. Those were lightning strikes. Before the Cal game even started, we had seen all 3 of those goals because they had the Sharks game on just on one of the TVs before we went in to go watch the game. The Lone Rangers goal happened about almost 13 minutes into the period. So that was the game. We didn't miss any scoring in that game, so that was nice. That was nice for them. And this was also the Niners Sharks Bay Area Unite game as well. So they were giving away a Niners themed jersey, which was kind of cool. It was, it was all red and with the shark teeth at the bottom. It was kind of a cool looking jersey, and one that I'm sure they'll be doing a random draw giveaway of some kind. If we happen to find ourselves at a game sometime in the future, maybe like in a prize pack or something, they'll probably give that away to a random fan or something as well. So if you missed out on your chance, it may not be over just yet. You never know. So
right.
For win of the week, Sam, you had the Tampa Bay game earlier this past week. Unfortunately, they did not win that game. Me and Tyler did have this Rangers game. So for win of the week on the season, I'm at 10 this year. I've been raking them in. That's good. You're at 7, Sam. Tyler, you're at 6. So you're catching up a little bit. Upcoming games for this week,
but surely.
All 4 games are on the road. None of these are back-to-backs, though. So we have at Vancouver tonight, at Edmonton on Thursday, at Calgary on Saturday, and then at Chicago on Monday. That game will start before we start recording, so I'm going to allow us to count it if you want it.
So I'm taking Vandy.
All right, you're going to take Vancouver. Sam, what game do you want?
The Calgary.
You want Calgary?
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna take Chicago. So that way we are all live. Every single one of us can try to gain a point on each other that way. So nobody's stacking up too far. Okay. Everybody has a chance to and if we all get a point, that means the Sharks got at least 3 wins this week, and that's what we really want to see. We want to see them keep building wins, speaking of which, they are currently in the final wild card position as the game started this week. They're sitting in the 8th spot. So, right on the edge. They've been kind of on the playoff bubble. Basically since just December. Basically, they started off losing 6 straight, 0-4-2, I believe, with the 2 overtime losses. But basically after that, they've they've won a lot more than they've lost. Obviously, they're above regular 500, let alone NHL 500. So this is this is a pretty good team.
You got Sherwood coming too. He's gonna be here.
Yeah, he's if he's not he's gonna be on the trip. I think he's not playing tonight.
He's not playing tonight.
He's not playing tonight. This would have been against his old team too. We just got him from Vancouver. So unfortunately, he's not going to get to play in the revenge game, or whatever. But he's really close to playing. Kurashev is on the road trip as well as Mukmadolin. So all three of them are believed to be able to play on this road trip at some point soon. So they're really close to playing. After the Chicago game, the only game left before the Olympic break is Colorado on Wednesday. So, and then after that, we're off for a couple of weeks for hockey for the Olympics. So there we go. That's, this is it. It's going to be, this is the time we got to start stacking wins. Edmonton is the only, really super tough team on the schedule right now for this upcoming week. Colorado obviously is the really tough one that's looming after Chicago, but they're not on this schedule for this week yet. So, I'd love to see them win all three of these games that we have picked. And if they can also steal that Edmonton game, that'd be huge as well. Obviously going 4-0 on the road, massive, but 3-1 would be great.
Right.
I would love to see that. That's what I have. And frankly, all three of those teams are behind you in the standings. Frankly, at this point, I'm expecting them to. They're a good enough team now. I think we can say they're a good enough team that I should expect the Sharks to win these games. All three of these games. So there we go. I'm knock on wood, but these are teams you're supposed to beat now. At this point, you're a good enough team. Celebrini is that much of a difference maker. And obviously, I don't want him to be the only reason you'll win these games, but get the job done. It's right there for you. Let's start stacking wins, start stacking points, and let's not take it to overtime. Let's do it in regulation. Don't just hand out free points to anybody. Chicago is close enough in the standings. I think that if you give them a free point or two, that they may. They're only about 5 points behind you in the standings. I don't want them to get any thoughts about sneaking back into it. So
you had an interesting speculation about Jeff Skinner. He may or may not be on the team soon.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So when we start activating these players, there's only one spot left on the roster, and you got three players that are being activated. They've already cleared room. So there's actually two spots now, really. But so there's basically two spots and three players that are to be activated. And I think Jeff Skinner is probably going to be the odd man out. He's by all measurable statistics, he's kind of been the bust, of the offseason. He hasn't provided that scoring punch that you expected or you wanted him to provide. And I suspect it sounds like there may have been quiet whispers trying to find a trade partner for him. I don't know if that's really materialized because he hasn't really performed that well. And there's a reason why the Sharks were able to get him for fairly cheaply at this point in his career, because I don't know if it's really there anymore, so he may end up being put on waivers and being sent down to
if he doesn't clear waivers, could he be picked up by the Barracudas? I guess
he would be sent down to the CUDA if he ends up clearing waivers. It would be the same situation that Nick Leddy found himself in. So they already did it once for Leddy, and so it would be the same situation if nobody picked him up on waivers. That's what would happen, is he would end up being assigned to the Barracuda. And from there, who knows what happens. He may accept the assignment. He may just ask for his outright release and to try to find his own way somewhere else. I don't know. That's still to be determined. And we don't, and this is all speculation. The Sharks may end up finding a trade partner. You know, something may happen. They may end up getting, a player to be named later, which may end up being, or, something, prospects to be named later,
something down the pipeline,
considerations
possibly.
to
Like a
be
small
determined
trade, minor
later,
trade.
and the consideration could end up being nothing. Like literally just take him from us. Like there are ways around it later, but yeah. So that we'll see what happens here. There's going to be ways around it, and who knows? It may end up not even being Jeff Skinner. There may be another move that ends up happening for another player that's a little bit further down the roster. We don't entirely know. Maybe another trade happens that makes a little bit more sense, that clears up the roster spot. I don't know. Mike Greer is always keeping his ear to the ground, keeping, like just kind of looking for stuff. He's making moves. Mike Greer stays making moves. He stays ready. So, I mean, I'm really interested to see what happens and what's going to be happening, how he's going to solve this problem, because it's an interesting, unique, fun problem to have, because you got NHL quality caliber players. You got more than you have room for, and it's been a while since we've had this problem. So,
Agreed.
It's
a great
I mean, they're not the
problem.
best. I mean, they're not all the best caliber players, but they are NHL caliber players. Jeff Skinner,
Right.
even though he's having a down year, and he's a former, Calder Trophy winner for, best rookie. He beat out Logan Couture for it. So, once upon a time, I was pissed off about that at the time, but, so it was a down year for him, obviously, but we'll see if somebody takes him. I don't know. I don't know if anybody will or not. And obviously it's, you don't want to get absolutely nothing for him, but if somebody's willing to take him for absolutely nothing, and that's what you can get, and if that's the move, then that's the move. I don't know. This roster spot has to be cleared though at some point. So that's what we got here. That's what's coming down the pipeline.